According to the New York Times, the Dirty Shirley is the drink of summer. Is it? If you say so, I guess. I don't know. So a Shirley Temple is a soft drink that goes back at least as far as the 1930s. There are at least 3 locations that claim to be the birthplace of the Shirley Temple. That's Chasen's in Beverly Hills, the Brown Derby as well, and the Royal Hawaiian in Waikiki. And all of them have some version of a story in which little Shirley Temple had come in and we wanted to entertain her and we made this drink to serve her and her friends. It probably existed before then, but it would have been called something else because Shirley herself wasn't really working before 1931. So why would you name a drink the Shirley Temple? Unless her parents named her after the drink. No, that didn't happen. I personally grew up guzzling Shirley Temples. I was frequently plopped in a bar seat next to my dad while he drank his wages, and I had to pass time in kind. So Shirley Temples were a frequent occurrence. And no, I've never found them embarrassing to order or drink. That is ridiculous. For some reason, when I was like 11, 13, 14, I mean, today, whatever, older gentlemen seem to try to shame you for ordering a Shirley Temple. Like, Shirley Temple, that's a girl's drink. At least get yourself a Rob Roy, boy. Or not a Rob Roy, that's actually his alcohol in it. Roy Rogers. You want to order a Roy Rogers, don't you? Don't you mean a Roy Rogers? I've actually had guys say, no, I mean a Shirley Temple. I don't give a shit. So, I don't know where that comes from. That's awful. That's insane. Knock that off. Let people enjoy what they like enjoying. It's really stupid. By the way, too, if I come down and say like a thing is, if I put a harsh review on something, don't say that. That doesn't mean I don't think you can enjoy it if you want to. I think you should. It just means that I can't. And I mind that for humor. Anyway, so if you order a Shirley Temple, you are likely to get a glass of ice and Rose's Grenadine, topped with Sprite and a neon red cherry. I have read online that some people make theirs with ginger ale, which I don't think I've ever encountered myself, honestly. If you take that and then toss an ounce or 2 of vodka into it, your Shirley Temple is now a Dirty Shirley. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a couple of Dirty Shirleys. I'm going to make one with Sprite and one with ginger ale and see how dirty that Shirley is. After that, I've got a few ideas of my own that I want to explore, but let's make these baselines first. I am interested in seeing how a ginger ale Dirty Shirley Temple actually is, because I don't think I've ever had one made that way. All right, simple thing here. Take a couple of glasses. This is the kind of thing you normally would free pour, of course, but we're just going to measure, do 1.5 ounces of this. And then I think I will, I don't know, I'm not really sure what the right way to make this particular version of it is. What I want to be able to do is I want to make these clean, and then I want to dirt them up, if that makes any sense. At this point, I would just add Sprite or ginger ale, respectively, to these fellers. I'm leaving myself a little bit of room for the vodka that'll go in next. That's one of my, I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure. One of my comfort foods, though, is like traditional Canada Dry ginger ale. I associate it with weekends at my grandmother's place, and also with like staying home sick, and also air travel is always an important part. That when I have in the past managed to struggle myself onto an airplane, ginger ale features prominently. I don't know why. Probably because I often flew with her when I was a younger person flying. That's it. I mean, other than our cherries, which we've of course got to have kind of not fancy ones to be a proper Shirley Temple here. Oh yeah, looking good. Okay, so this is just really quickly, I wanted to try it. No vodka. This is Sprite version, and this is the ginger ale version. That is really sweet. Those are both really much too sweet, and not else. I can't really detect anything else going on in there other than sweetness. Let's add some vodka to thin out that sweetness. Maybe the vodka will make it better. 2 ounces of vodka. We're using Sky vodka. All right, we got some Dirty Shirleys over here. These they're so dirty, those Shirleys. Wow, those little dirty freaks. This one's with the Sprite, which I think is the more typical approach. Oh God. I'll tell you what, you can't barely detect any kind of vodka in there at all. It just tastes like melted down cotton candy. This is with the ginger ale. Honestly, I think the ginger ale works out a little bit better. Somehow it's a little bit less sweet. I wonder if that's true. I wonder if the ginger ale on its own is less sweet. I should just read the label. 24 grams of sugar. 30 grams of sugar. Let's figure that one out. Yeah, I mean, honestly, most of the sweetness is coming from the Grenadine, because neither of these taste sweet by comparison to the cocktail, to the drink. In fact, maybe they'd be better if let's re-top them up. Maybe now that they're thinned out a little bit, they'll be better. I don't know. Whew, man, it's too sweet. Maybe I went too much on the Grenadine. I don't know. Full disclosure, this is not how I make a Shirley Temple, so I'm a little out of whack here. We're gonna come to it in a minute. Yeah, I can taste the vodka in there. So I made those with too much grenadine. Let's throw these away and start over. 1 second. Why does it matter? It doesn't matter. None of this matters, but hold on a second. Whiskey's good proofing water. Tells you who's real and who isn't. So says Thomas Shelby anyway. I just like the stuff. And I want to thank Bushmills for sponsoring this episode and putting this bottle of their Prohibition Blend whiskey into my hands to enjoy. So thank you, Bushmills. Bushmills actually teamed up with Peaky Blinders to launch this limited edition Prohibition-style whiskey to celebrate the final season of the series. In the early 1900s, there was no chill filtration, barrel and bottle proof was higher, and the barrels Bushmills used were almost exclusively previously used bourbon barrels from America. It has a big effect on the flavor. Those three factors are what goes into making this bottle a little different and what gives you a taste of what Prohibition-era whiskey was like. I'm not sure that I'm equal to the task, as my tasting palate is only so finely tuned, but you should look for more bold flavors of like orange marmalade and almonds and cinnamon, baking spices, those kinds of things. I definitely get the marmalade. I like that a lot. Marmalade and allspice and cinnamon. Oh yeah. Of course, Prohibition calls to my mind speakeasies, flappers, cocktails, and there is a cocktail made just for this bottle, the Shelby Sour. I'm going to start with a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, 1/2 ounce of a lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of orange liqueur, and then 2 ounces of Bushmills Prohibition whiskey. Strain it over a big cube. Garnish that with a orange wheel and a sprig of fresh mint. And there you have it, the Shelby Sour. All right, very nice. That's delicious. Very mellow. Very mellow. The orange curacao really helps accentuate that marmalade note. Bushmills Prohibition recipe is available online at Reserve Bar. Click the link below to order. Thanks again to Bushmills and Shelby Company Limited. And now back to the show, by order of the Peaky Blinders. All right, let's try that again. The more reasonable amount of syrup here. This is Sprite. Okay, so this is the ginger ale going in. That's actually much more balanced. There's some nuance there. It's very sweet. It's very pink flavored, but you can still taste like some of the Sprite coming through now. I still think I like the ginger ale better. I've never had that before. It's more interesting. Whatever. Neither one is, this is Shirley Temple. Let's throw some vodka into them. Go. And, you know, in truth, my 2 ounce pour, 2 ounce standard, probably a little heavier pour than you're going to find in most Dirty Shirleys. They're probably going to be made about 1.5 ounces. 1.75 or something like that. But here we go. Sprite version. It's fine. You can taste the vodka a little, but vodka doesn't have a lot of taste. It's more like it cuts holes in other parts of a flavor. And then this is the ginger ale. They're fun. They're fun. There's nothing really wrong with these. I don't really object to either of these versions of a Dirty Shirley. If you like it, that's fine. Is it the drink of summer? I don't think it's gonna be the drink of my summer.
It's not a cocktail. It's a vehicle to get drunk without tasting.
Alcohol delivery system.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an alcohol delivery system. Fact. Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways though too. Like this is what your common it's a booze and mixer highball basically that you'd find just about anywhere at a beach bar or something like that. So in that regard, like, yeah, this could be the drink of summer. All right, well, that's all well and good and all, but I've had an ace up my sleeve this whole time. That's not how you make a Shirley Temple. I mean, at least it's not how I would make a Shirley Temple. Now, I know that the article in the New York Times supposes that the sudden popularity of this drink is a result of young people who fled the city due to COVID, and they returned to their hometowns of their youth as a result. They're now coming back to the city, and they're bringing with them this ironic, tongue-in-cheek comfort food of a drink that is by its very nature mocking the saccharine, sweet garbage food and drinks of suburban strip malls and chain restaurants, and that what I'm about to do to their Dirty Shirley is an affront to ironic detachment everywhere, but we can make this better, and by God, I will! First things first, though, a Shirley Temple begins with real grenadine, and we're going to make it right after this. I'm going to make myself... Let's make a Dirty Shirley as I would approach the drink. Myself, I've got nothing here. I'm just riffing off of my own personal Shirley Temple recipe. I don't normally measure these, but I will today. I'm going to start with 1 ounce of my own homemade pomegranate syrup, otherwise known as grenadine, because that's what grenadine is, pomegranate syrup. Take a lime. I'm going to get some lime juice here. I'm looking for about 1 ounce. It's, again, anywhere between equal measures grenadine and lime juice. And like 1-to-2 ratio is fine, depending on your personal tastes. I'm making this one equal measure, so we're going for 1 ounce. Although, hey, that's a pretty dry lime. Let's see if we get there. ounce of lime juice. If I add ice and club soda to that, that's going to be a really good Shirley Temple. Right there, that's it. But we want to make a Dirty Shirley. I'm going to use vodka. I'm going to go 1.5 ounces on the vodka. And I'm going to do 1/4 ounce of Maraschino. Just a little bit. Maybe even less, basically that's a bar spoon of Maraschino. Now, I'm going to take some crushed ice. Put crushed ice in there to about there. Mix that thoroughly. I'm going to hit that with a splash of soda water, just carbonated water. Totally unnecessary, but I think a little mint in there is going to be attractive. Certainly it's a drink that could have an umbrella. I'm not going to grab one. And that's how I would make a Dirty Shirley. Let's see how it came out. It's very sweet, but it is delicious. It has a lot more character, has a lot more lime bite in it. In hindsight, I think I would skip the maraschino. It's just adding character to it that's unnecessary. It's biting, it's tart, it sets the size of your tongue it like puckers your mouth and makes your mouth salivate like Sour Patch Kids do. It is sweet against that citrus, the lime that is just right. Really held in kind of nice tension there. It is a pretty sweet drink in the way that it is also pretty strongly tart. Like they are equally matched, but it's pretty sweet. Maybe you could do less. I think if we hadn't put that in there, which was like a crazy idea I just came up with, I don't think it's necessary. Probably be better. I don't know, it's grown on me a lot though. It's very rounded out, nice evolution, very cold, very fresh, very refreshing. You get that, you taste the pomegranate, it tastes fruity. Is this the drink of summer? I don't think so. But it could be a drink of your summer. I'll tell you what, I like it 1,000 times better than those. It is too sweet. It's very sweet. How would you make that less sweet? You can cut this syrup in half there, or by 1/3 in ratio to the lime. If you want to, it's great. Your syrup goes even further. Why did I put it on crushed ice? I just kind of felt like it. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. Like you could put it on a big cube or just on some cracked ice or whatever. Whatever you got around is fine. I don't think it matters. These particular highball glasses are really skinny, and they're tricky for me to work with the spears, which is what I have at the moment. That's why I kind of felt like going crushed ice on that. So I know some people who would love these. I think my mother-in-law would enjoy this. I got some other ideas here, Meredith. You ever hear of a Roy Rogers? It's that's nothing more than a Shirley Temple made with Coca-Cola instead of the usual Sprite or lemon lime soda. What if we did a Rummy Roy?
Yeah.
Rummy Roy. Okay, so I'm going to use 1/2 ounce of my own personal syrup here. So that's homemade Grenadine. Boop. What do we have for rum? We got the Plantation 3-star. Yeah, that's perfect rum for this. Call this a Rummy Roy. 1.5 ounces of a nice rum. Any rum, but I think something fairly, Bourbon Court would be great here too, but we could spend all day talking about what rums I think would be good in a drink because this is a many splendored thing. Let's get some ice. I'm sticking with my crushed ice highballs. Mix that up. So that right there is nothing more than our rum and Grenadine. I think we could use some lime juice in there. I have a funny feeling that we want that. I think maybe, let's aim for 1/2 ounce, see if we get there. Okay, 1/2 ounce of lime juice as well. Mix that up. Top that with Coke. And obviously, cherries on a pick. A soda straw. Here we have a Rummy Roy. Let's see how the Rummy Roy came out. That's just like a better rum and Coke. I kind of like that a lot. That's really good. It's got a little snap from the lime juice. The Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a really complicated flavor profile. It's a lot more than simply being straight up sweet. It's citrus based. A lot of people think that it's cola flavored. The cola nut has, if I'm not mistaken, like almost no flavor to it at all. It is there to provide caffeine. I think there's one more non-alcoholic classic that we can adulterate here if you want. How about Arnold Palmer's? Those are a thing, right? That's like a half mix of lemonade and iced tea, a drink of the famous golfer's own design, supposedly. What if we made a Sex Demon Palmer? I don't know why I decided it should be called the Sex Demon Palmer.
So that elevated quickly.
Yeah, we went all the way to 11. I feel like it belongs in a snifter. Don't know why. Lemon juice. 2 ounces of lemonade, 2 ounces of our iced tea. Well, equal parts iced tea and lemonade. And it looks like we need more. Going 4 ounces on each. We've got our Arnold Palmer is there. What do we think makes it a sex demon? Mezcal?
I mean, if you're going demon, you gotta go, yeah, more than just tequila.
1.5 ounces of mezcal. Yeah, a little lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice, you know. Whoop. There you go, half a lemon's juice, just about. Yeah. Let's hit that with some ice. There we go. Top that up with crushed ice. I think it looks good too. I think we should put and some mint and a straw. Sex Demon Palmer. Ha ha! Boy, that's just weird. That's weird. It doesn't taste like anything at all except for just a faint wisp of smoke. Honestly, I think that's a dangerous drink because you can't taste nothing in it unless I'm crazy. It just kind of, it tastes like the experience of being downwind 20 or 30 yards from a campfire. It's not sweet, a little bit lemony, not very lemony. Well, splash of mezcal, it's nice. Give the old Sex Demon a try, Mar.
Watered down mezcal.
That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
It's a big name for a drink, a Sex Demon Palmer, but hey, it's just watered down mezcal and a little lemon. Well, I think actually our best success so far was the Rummy Roy. Maybe the Rummy Roy is the drink of summer. Should we continue the hunt for the drink of summer?
Everyone's talking about the mojito.
That's true. I think the mojito could be the drink of summer. I think it could be. I think it could be. I think the mojito might do it this year. Next time on The Drink of Summer, we'll try the mojito. Until then, this has been How to Drink, and thank you so much for watching. Hey, I got the social media. You know what? I'm on the internet. I'm on Twitter. I'm on the TikTok. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Instagram, and those places are on screen, and you should follow me over there. That'd be cool. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time with another episode. Until then, I've been making this show for a very long time. Please bloop, bleep, bleep, blop, blop, bloop, 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 bloop.